Now, welcome to the Aberdeen Wings Coaches Show. Joining us now, Francis Sansalone, head coach of the Aberdeen Wings. Thanks for taking some time.
Thank you, Ward.
Hey, we talk about the North American Hockey League and their showcase tournament that kicked off the 14-15 season. And, a little struggle to start on that first game. I don't know where that was, but, you ended strong 3-1 coming out of that 4-game tournament. Overall, give us how the play went.
All in all, I was happy with how we performed in Blaine. I thought we actually played quite well in the first game. We made some mistakes in spurts that kind of cost us a bit against Johnstown, and then in game 2 against Michigan, I thought we were real good. We were ready to play. It was a morning game. We thought that the 10:15 a.m. game was going to be a race to kind of get into a 7 p.m. mindset,
right.
And we were fortunate to get there first and kind of stay in that mindset all game. And then against Keystone, I thought we played a really gritty game. I found over the years, not only as a coach in this league, but also as an evaluator in my time in the USHL, watching the Blaine Showcase, that the third game's often the hardest, especially against a team that's winless. Keystone came into that third game without a win, so I thought we played real well in that game and defended when we needed to. And then the fourth game was just an absolute grind. You can be in the best shape possible, but in a lot of ways you're exhausted in the fourth game, and we were fortunate to come out on top in the shootout, get some timely goals, and get some key saves at key times. So all in all, a productive week.
Good. And, go game by game now. Johnstown Tomahawks, like you said, it's the first opportunity. What were some areas that you were a little bit nervous about going into the showcase? It's the start of the season. Got a lot of new guys. Got some returning guys, but a lot of new guys. Was there any worries, anything that you wanted to pinpoint on?
No real worries. I think the question mark, or what we were anticipating the most, was to see who played well with whom. Guys are still getting to know each other. Guys are still trying to figure out where each person on their line is going to be on the ice. So maybe just the overall chemistry of the 4 lines and of the 6 defensemen, and see how the goalies would do. So it wasn't really a systematic thing or anything we were worried about. I think as a staff we were just anxious to see how the group would gel together. And I thought we were quite good in the 4 as a whole.
Let's talk about some key players out of the tournament. A 4-game tournament like that. We talk about the veteran that returns for us, Kyle Hake. 4 goals in 4 games. I mean, talk about a good way to start the season for one kid.
Kyle was solid. He's leading by example right now. He always has. He's one of the best process players I've ever coached. He knows what we expect. He leads by example every day, not just on the ice, in the games and in practice, but off the ice in the weight room, the way he goes about his business, the way he conducts himself. I was real happy to see him get rewarded. He's got a little chemistry building with Ronnie Hine, who's a little bit younger than him, and they kind of made a real good 1-2 punch with Bjorn Sigurdarsson on that line. So I was happy to see Kyle score. What I like about Kyle Hake is the goals that he scores are a byproduct of what he does in practice. He works on a lot of the shots that he takes in the game before and after practice. So it's a real good message to our guys that, yeah, it takes a little bit of natural gift to score goals, but you can also work on it. And he's taking his gifts and his drive, and he's been rewarded so far early in the year, and it's great to see.
One of the great things about the tournament was the new official voice of the Aberdeen Wings, Jay Kleinknecht. Something that he mentioned quite frequently was the speed of Ronnie Hine. This is a kid that you guys tendered last season, and he comes in here and absolutely made a splash there at the showcase tournament.
Yeah, Ronnie's a special player. He's committed to Ferris State University. He's a young player. He's got a lot of drive. What I like about Ronnie is, even though he's skilled and he's a good skater, he plays the game fast. He plays hard. He's always going. He's got to learn certain situations where he wants to go too much, that he may need to scale it back a bit and work a little bit on his defensive game and his detail. But a lot of that's on us as coaches. We've got to help him with that. He's been a pleasure to work with, and it was nice to see him get rewarded on the scoreboard with Hake and Bjorn.
We go into the season so far, #1 draft pick, Gavin Pekzoza, goes down with a little bit of an injury. So you're rolling right now with, of course, our veteran returner, Chad Catt, and Andrew Shortridge, kind of a new name to the Aberdeen Wings roster, but definitely put his stamp on the NAHL tournament. Tell us a bit about the goaltending. Were you pleased out of the tournament?
Yeah, the goaltending was real solid for us in all 4 games. Obviously, Kat's a returning goalie. He knows the league. He knows how we go about our business in Aberdeen. He's experienced. He's played multiple games on all the arenas in our division. He has the wisdom of a veteran goaltender. And then Andrew Shortridge is out of Anchorage, Alaska. He played last season with the Phoenix Junior Coyotes, a U18 AAA team down in Arizona. And he's a big goaltender, a lot like Henry Dill size-wise, who was here with us last year. He softens the puck, he controls his rebound, and he's very cool and calm and collected. And he and Catter both gave us good goaltending this weekend in Weekend Blaine. We're not gonna be successful if we don't get good goaltending. Like the old saying goes, show me a good team and I'll show you a good goalie. We're fortunate we have two.
Hey, as we continue along and talking about the tournament, one thing that comes out of the tournament, not only a 3-1 record and kind of a good little boost to get into Friday night's home opener here at the ODI Center, but also a big announcement, Daniel Billett, defenseman, making a Division I commitment to Bemidji State. I'll tell you what, Daniel Billett's been on a lot of coaches' minds, especially at the Division I level.
Yeah, we're real happy for Daniel. This is an exciting time for him to commit to Bemidji State. He visited there this summer. He really liked it. He liked the coaching staff. Obviously, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to put 2 and 2 together. He's real excited, I'm sure, to be with Coach Winter in the future for 4 years at BSU. And what I like about Daniel is over the last 12, 13 months that he's been in our program, he's worked diligently on and off the ice to get better as a player, as an athlete, and as a person. So the fact that he's been able to make this commitment early on this season is a testament to him, and now he can focus on just getting better every day so that he can help the Aberdeen Wings, he can help himself, and he's in the best possible position to help the Beavers when that time comes.
You know, the Aberdeen Wings increased their overall number to 25 Division I commitments in just the span of 4 full seasons in the NAHL. That amasses a lot of other teams that are in this league. So that's our main goal here, is we want to make sure these guys are getting on forward. And Daniel Billett, that's a great thing to see. Are a lot of these guys, the NAHL Showcase Tournament, an opportunity to be in front of those college coaches, pro scouts, amateur scouts, things like that. So, you know, was there a lot of workshops, a lot of things for the players to go to, and opportunities to talk with these coaches?
Not really. There were over 330 scouts in attendance. Now that does include some people from obviously our own league, but just about every USHL team was represented. Every Division I program was in attendance. The Division III coaches love it because they have a hard time covering ground during the season. And so the Blaine Showcase provides them, and all colleges for that matter, a tremendous opportunity to see players. And then what's impressive, as we said last week, is that every year there seem to be more and more NHL scouts in attendance trying to find that next good player for down the line, you know, like a Zach Nagelvort, because what the NHL scouts like to do is they like to be the first guys to have a report on a player. And if some scout can say he saw a guy in Blaine and put in one report, and 2 years later when he gets to college, the organization can look back and see that report from Blaine, that reflects positively on the NHL team and on that individual scout. So the NHL scouts like coming to Blaine, and it's real exciting to see them walking around the rinks and asking us as coaches about our players. Interesting for the fans, they might not know that the colleges are not allowed to talk to the players till the end of the tournament weekend. So some of the colleges couldn't stay around through the whole weekend. I'm getting calls today. I expect calls tomorrow from colleges to ask about certain players. So it was a great event. There were a number of scouts in attendance, and the league continues to show why it is the league of opportunity for players in their advancement.
You've been an outstanding job by the North American Hockey League, and you can always check them out at nahl.com. You can follow standings, schedules, scores, up-to-the-minute score updates. You can also follow everything within the league and find all 24 teams, all at nahl.com. Let's shift directions just a little bit and talk about now upcoming. Of course, we love getting the ODI Center behind us full of fans, and the fans are anxious. They're ready to get it full and ready to make it loud in here, and that's going to happen Friday night with the home opener against, of course, our rivals, the Bismarck Bobcats. Coach, how do you prepare for Friday night's home opener?
Well, first off, we kind of said last week, and this is how we've approached it, that there are 3 tests early on in the season. The first test for our group was how would we do going down to Topeka against a solid team for 2 preseason games. We did well. The next level test would be in Blaine. 4 games, 4 days, 3 against North Division opponents who we won't see again in the regular season in front of all the scouts. How would we do? We did quite well. And obviously, the third part to this three-part test is Friday night here against Bismarck. We're really excited. The guys are chomping at the bit to play in front of the home crowd. They have a very good team. They're our rivals, and the fans boo them and all that, but we've got to give credit where credit's due. They've done a good job with their program. They have a few players back that I think are going to be real solid in the league. Then they have a number of first-year players that I know they're excited about, who are quality players, are going to help their team. So we expect a competitive battle with Bismarck on Friday all season long. We want to go one day at a time. So next up for us is practice this week. We got to try and get better every day in practice, and the best thing we can do to prepare for Bismarck is to continue to focus on ourselves and get better in all areas of our game.
You bet. And at practice right now, what are some of the things that you're trying to instill into the players, I guess, for the long haul of the season? You know, I think a lot of people don't realize, or maybe some people do and don't, but this is a 60-game regular season. Mm-hmm. You might only play, 20, maybe 20 games in AAA midgets or whatever it may be. So, this is a 60-game deal. I mean, we're just every weekend for 7 months.
Well, to your point, some of the players on our team who played high school, they play a limited number of games. Some kids play 80 games during the year. So that's all. It all depends where your players have come from. But I will say this: 70 midget games is not like 60 North American Hockey League games. It's a grind. It's a battle every night. What we're trying to emphasize in practice is just continuing to work on good habits, good detail, not only away from the puck but also with it. We want to be a real good puck possession team.
And Coach, talk about the NAHL Central itself. The league altogether, all 24 teams are very solid. We talked about Cooley Region. It was a team that, they didn't make the playoffs and things like that. But then when they showed up at Blaine, they had so many returning players that they were a tough competition. Topeka, we went down and beat them in 2 exhibition preseason games. They're 6-0 right now. Let's talk about the NAHL Central. It was the best showing at the NAHL Showcase Tournament out of any division in the league.
Yeah, the competitive nature of this league right now is one of the league as a whole's best assets. There's a ton of parity. I think this is going to be the most competitive Central Division that the fans here in Aberdeen have probably seen in the 4 full years that the team's been here in South Dakota. I expect this division to be a grind, and the bottom line is the games on a nightly basis, though we'd like to win them all, sure we would, are going to be tremendous teachers to our players about how hard it is to be successful on a nightly basis. Because when they get to college and play 30 to 40 games, the stakes are that much higher because there's less games. And so this league's going to be a real good teacher to our players, and the Central teams were very, very good in Blaine. Austin had a really good showing. Bismarck was good. As we said last week, Brookings has a new coach. They have a new look. I think we're going to have a real spirited rivalry with them this year. And Minot is always competitive. They played a real good game 4 where they snuck one out against Wenatchee. So we're going to be in for a battle every night. And listen, we intend to be there. We intend to be one of the top teams in the division too. But it's not going to be easy getting there. And I think this division is going to teach our players and the coaches too a lot about what it takes to be successful.
That's right. The NAHL Central is going to be a wild one, and it all starts here Friday night inside the ODI Center as the Aberdeen Wings take on the Bismarck Bobcats. Come and see us. Doors will open at 5:30 here at the ODI Center. The Wings Pro Shop then opens as well. You can pick up the latest in Aberdeen Wings merchandise. Also come for beer specials. General admission tickets $10 just at the door, and also reserved seating $12. If you would like to, maybe check in on some new season tickets that are last-minute season tickets that are available. You can contact Aaron Smith, our Director of Media and Marketing, at 605-380-5852. Or if you'd like to become a corporate partner with the Aberdeen Wings, you can contact Director of Business Operations Pete Sauer at 218-820-5049. Well, thank you, Francis Anzalone, head coach of the Aberdeen Wings, for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Ward.
All right, go and check out AberdeenWings.com, Facebook, and Twitter, and we'll see you here at the ODI Center for Bismarck and Aberdeen this Friday, 5:30. Doors open, 7 o'clock puck drop.